Hey, what's up everyone? Today I'm going to teach you my super secret strategy of how I defeat performance anxiety so that I can perform my best, win auditions, and create the best possible representation of my sound. So by the end of this video, you should be able to walk into your next live performance, your next recital, your next jury, your next audition with complete confidence. And during this video, I'm actually going to tell you about the most valuable trumpet lesson that I've ever had, so don't miss out on that. And all I ask for these free gems of wisdom is that you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel with notifications on because I release new music and trumpet related content every single week, and leave a comment with what you think. And if you watch this video all the way to the very end, I'm going to tell you about a resource that is packed to the brim with more performance anxiety tips, just like the one you're about to discover in this very video. But don't skip to the end because I'm going to cry myself to sleep if you do. Alright, let's just hop right into it. So, how many of you tell yourself this in your head? Oh my god, I gotta play every single note perfectly. Oh my god, I can't crack a single note. Now, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. This mindset is absolutely fatal. At least in the music world, we always strive for perfection. In the practice room especially, we're really looking to refine, and get everything sounding perfect. Or at least, I hope that's how people practice. And because our goal is to always refine, perfect, any sort of imperfection in the musical world is usually frowned upon. Oh, that guy cracked a note? Well, that sucks. That guy's a little bit out of tune? Ugh, gross. His tempo's dragging? Oh, it's so distasteful. And when we perform, we constantly feel like every single action of ours is being judged because we're also audience members. And as audience members, we judge other people, we judge other musicians regardless of whether we admit it or not. Our radars are always on, scanning for the slightest imperfection, because as musicians who are perfectionists and are training for maximum quality, our radars are always on, scanning for the slightest imperfection, even when we're audience members. So because we know how it feels to be an audience member, when we're on stage, we know that there's people in the audience with their radars on, scanning for every slight imperfection in your playing, and that can really hurt with mental health and your performance anxiety on stage. Even the nicest musician in the world will still silently judge their neighbors. It's just human nature. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. Now, I used to take auditions. I don't really anymore with my current situation, but when I did, boy, was that stressful. And taking an audition is not only stressful because there's a panel of people who are specifically there to scan and listen for any slightest imperfection in your sound and your playing, but it's also scary because the outcome of the audition can have a great impact on your future. How well you play a particular excerpt can literally decide if you're going to be employed or not. And if you have a family to feed and a roof to put over people's heads, it's even all the more stressful because there's more at stake. And of course, even though that this is literally true, this is really not a good mindset to have when you're performing or taking an audition or playing a jury or playing a recital, but more on that later. So I was taking auditions when I was in music school, so most of the auditions that I took when I was in the university were just for seating auditions, for placements within the school's ensembles, because I wanted my peers to look at me highly, so I wanted to make sure that I was placed well in these ensembles. And although this is not nearly as consequential as a professional audition where you're deciding whether your income is going to be coming from playing trumpet or whatever instrument, or coming from Uber driving or delivering pizzas or working at Starbucks, it wasn't that consequential, but it's still an audition, even if it's just for seating, and it was still stressful. And I will admit, the fear mostly came from ego and status. It's like, oh my god, if I don't get first chair, my peers aren't gonna take me seriously. If I don't play this audition well and I don't get placed well, my friends are gonna think I suck. If this doesn't go well, my professors are gonna value other peers over me. In any audition that we take, there are consequences about how well we perform, whether they're minor like that or if they're more serious like we talked about. So my freshman year, I completely flopped in the first seating audition. Not only was I underprepared because it was my first time really taking a real audition, but I also just wasn't in the right mindset. I was completely freaking myself out and it did not go well at all. So after my freshman year, I went to a teacher at home. I took lessons during semester breaks because I just wanted to keep the lessons going. I wanted to keep learning as much as I could, even when I'm on a break. I'm kind of a workaholic. That's how I am. But I took lessons with one of my teachers at home, and he told me this story about how he deals with performance anxiety. So there's a trombone player that he knows, and this trombone player was a nervous wreck. He was taking professional auditions, and he was walking into each audition with the mindset of, oh my god, if I don't play this next excerpt well, I won't be able to feed my family. Oh my god, if I don't play this next excerpt well, I'm gonna have to keep waiting tables. And as you can imagine, this trombone player was losing audition after audition after audition after audition. He was a fantastic trombone player. He could be one of the best in the world, actually. Phenomenal trombone player. But because he wasn't able to get in the right mindset, he was losing every single audition that he took because he was freaking himself out and he was his own worst enemy. And when you come in with the mindset that, oh my God, everything needs to be perfect, I can't crack a single note, that's your fatal flaw. And I'm going to tell you exactly how you can approach an audition or a performance or a recital or a jury with a better mindset that's guaranteed to give you more success. So I believe that in the practice room, we must have high standards for ourselves. We must refine to our maximum potential. We must be very, very smart in the practice room, and we must strive for perfection in the practice room. However, for a live performance, an audition, a jury, we need to lower the bar for ourselves. But wait, doesn't lowering your standards mean that you're gonna play worse if you have lower standards? Come on, Matt, what are you thinking? Well, actually quite the opposite. So if our goal is 100% perfection, we gotta do everything perfectly. Everything's gotta be perfect, clean, perfect. If our goal is 100%, the second that we make a mistake, and as a trumpet player, we have random cracks sometimes. It happens. Even Phil Smith had cracks during his New York Philharmonic audition. It happens. So if our goal is 100%, the second that we crack a note, which is inevitable, we failed. We failed ourselves. Because our goal is 100%, we are now down to 99%. We failed ourselves. And do you see how that's a really destructive mindset? And when you fail yourself, when you don't reach your goal, and it happens really quickly, you're going to be thinking about that mistake and going to be like, oh my God, I screwed up. Oh my God, this is awful. Everything needed to be perfect. And then from there, it's just all downhill because you already failed. You freaked yourself out, and it's going to affect the rest of your performance or the rest of your audition or the rest of your recital or whatever. So someone told this trombone player, I don't know if someone actually told him to do this or if he discovered this on his own, but he came into his next audition with the mindset of, I need to play at 80% or above, and that'll be fine. So 80%, like, if I missed 1 out of 5 notes, I would for sure lose the audition. That's completely unacceptable, right? Well, when you lower your standards to a goal that's very attainable, it makes you less stressed out because it's so much easier to attain your goal. So if your goal is 80%, the second that you inevitably crack a note, you're now down to 99%. But wait, your goal was 80% and you're at 99% now. That's still crushing it. 99% is awesome. If you got 99% on a test, you'd be hanging that on your fridge. You'd be calling your parents being like, yay, I aced that test. Let's go out to dinner or something. Or if you're in college, oh, let's go out, get some drinks. I got a 99% on that exam. 99% is a very phenomenal achievement and you should be proud of that. And if your goal was 80% and you get a 99%, that's phenomenal. But if your goal was 100% and you get a 99%, you failed. You failed yourself because you couldn't reach that goal. So do you see how lowering the bar for yourself puts you in a much better mindset? It makes you much more comfortable, makes you much more confident, and it gives you the freedom to make mistakes. It gives you the freedom to not be perfect. And the second that you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. It's actually, you're still crushing it because you're only down to 99%. And if you make another mistake, 98% is still killing it. So it's really all in the mindset. And this is going to help big when it comes to stage fright and performance anxiety. So back to our trombone player friend, as soon as he switched his standards to 80% and allowed himself to make mistakes and allowed himself to not be 100% perfect, he won that next audition. So do you see the power of the mindset? So in the practice room, we must refine. We must have this perfectionist attitude and be completely serious in the practice room. But when we get on the stage, we're in the audition room, we're in the recital hall, we got to lower our standards and allow ourselves to mess up. Because in the high pressure performance scenario, we've got to sort of chill ourselves out and let ourselves not be perfect, because it's going to put us in a much better place and we're much more likely to be successful, because the inevitable time that we make a mistake, it's not the end of the world and we're still crushing it and we'll keep going. All right, everyone, I hope that you enjoyed this story and this advice. And if you want more performance anxiety tips like that, I actually have a book called The Fearless Performer. I'll leave a link to the description down there, and it's packed to the brim with more performance anxiety tips. And also I have a free sound guide and a free trumpet class, so definitely check those out as well. Don't forget to smash like on this video, subscribe with notifications on, because I release new content like this every single week. And now don't go anywhere, check out this next video on double tonguing secrets. See you there.